Hello and welcome to a new guest with a new week or a new week with a new guest. I have no idea how this is going. I mean, you
Oof,
would think that at
started
like 100
strongly.
something episodes, we would have some experience on how to start a podcast, but apparently we don't. But anyways, we have some experience in finding new friends to join us. So we found a new friend, Juliana. Welcome to the show. For those
Hi.
that have not met you in person, which I think includes both of us, Jess, unless you have met
Hmm.
before,
I don't think so.
would you mind introducing yourself real quick or semi quick to us?
Yeah, so my name is Juliana. I am originally from Brazil, and my background is in physical oceanography. So I started my career in data science, and then I sail around the world as a seismic navigator until I settle with Power BI, start working on that back in 2020. And here I am,
Wow,
settled in Manchester, UK.
very cool.
Nice.
What
I
a
think it's basically
straightforward career path.
Yeah,
it was
everything but that.
I love that.
yeah, Jess, you keep using that word, but I don't think it means what you
Mm.
think it means.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
we'll get back to that later. I was going to mention that basically we now have our second sailor on the show because Teo was also he wasn't really
True.
sailing around the world, but actually working on container ships, but same but different.
We've
Anyways,
all
before
we've
yes,
also had multiple people who are into oceans, marine biology, that kind of stuff.
true
So
story.
you're among friends.
So if we ever are I mean, you got an octopus right behind you, Jess. So
Yeah, true. And right here,
Oh, I love that.
a little
I
3D
got
printed friend.
I got literally nothing. Um,
Perfect.
but let's not talk about what I don't have. Let's not talk about me because why would we invite a guest to talk about us, Jess? How rude would that be?
That would
Juliana,
be
getting
rude.
back to you, what is your favorite data thing? It can be a product, it can be a feature, it can be something more generic if it's not too generic. It cannot be data.
My favorite thing is about actually being able to see the data. So data visualization for me is something really powerful. I think everything on the back end is very important because you don't want to see rubbish in front of you. But I
Hmm.
think when you actually can see it, that's when you can actually make sense of it. When I started working and there was so much data and I couldn't actually see everything and I couldn't make sense of many of the theories behind ocean dynamics. It didn't make sense until I actually start working as a navigator and see that in some sort of data visualization format coming through while we are acquiring the data and also when we have to interpret the data. So since that was kind of an insight for me, like, oh, this is amazing, it's so good when I actually
Hmm.
see what we are learning on the books. So that is definitely my favorite thing, being able to see it.
Neat. So you obviously got into Power BI through the oceanography career anyway, right? Like that was the data you had available, and so that's where you went, started visualizing that.
Yeah, so we didn't have power. I started actually, I'm gonna kind of give away my age, but I started coding with Fortran 77. I don't know if you heard about it. And
Yeah.
it was not great with data visualization, but then I started with
Hmm.
MATLAB, and that's where I could see a little bit better, but I couldn't choose the right type of chart. So I'll create it, and I was like, yeah, I didn't have a clue what I was creating. And then going to working with as a navigator, it was everything completely new. There was nothing that if I mentioned commercially is going to make sense for you because it's specific
Hmm.
for the industry. Um, but when I had a career break, and then when I got back to work, I didn't think initially to work with data. I wanted to become a crane operator.
Okay.
And
Perfect.
and then because of COVID, I was kind of reassigned to work with someone else, and data was there in a hidden way, right? Because nobody would say we have all these data. It was like we have audits, and
Hmm.
that's how I kind of, oh, hang on a minute, I love it. And it kind of like makes sense because I kind of started my career with data, and then
Hmm.
everything was major. It was mainly Excel, and I was like, I'm going to learn Power Pivot, and then I heard about Power BI, and that's how I got where I am now. And it's been a long journey, and I was like, I'm going to work with these. I don't care where it costs me. I'm going to work with this, and I taught myself, and I'm quite pleased to actually be able to work with it. It was like I
Hmm.
feel like I've been in control for once.
I love that.
Let me
Super
rephrase
cool.
that. You were planning to become a crane operator, then COVID happened. That's how you ended up
No.
specializing in.
So I went like halfway through crane operator certification. So I finished, I did the theoretical exam, I started doing my practical hours, but it was with a Norwegian company. And then when I moved to the UK, I thought it would be easy to kind of just wrap up the practical hours working, but you need to have something specific within the UK, and I'll probably have to go back to the classroom and relearn everything. I was like,
Mm.
oh no, I can't be bothered. And then I started working. It was like, I'm not going to be a crane operator. I'm going to work with something else. So I joined a role that there was there was audit behind it, and because when we work offshore, we have to audit everything before we have external auditors. And then I started working with that, but then COVID hit and things changed because I was supposed to manage a workplace. And there was no more workplace. Everybody was working from home. But I still think that becoming a crane operator would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. Unless you're scared of heights.
Well, that's fine. I'm not worried about that, but I have bad hands, so I had nerve damage in my hands because of work injury. So my husband was like, "How are you gonna if you have to climb the ladder? How are you gonna do it?" So I was like, "Yeah, I don't think they're gonna. They may have like a medical as well. I'm not gonna be fit to work." So there were a few things
Mm.
behind not becoming a crane operator.
Bummer. Well, maybe in your next career move, you could circle back to them.
I was going to say, so surprising career moves seem to be your thing. I can tell
Hmm.
that by now.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I like it. Well, perfect. Well, when you're not playing with Power BI and you're not
before
trying to
we
learn,
get to your thing,
oh my, okay.
I mean, I think this would be a perfect opportunity just in case. And this is, I'm just making assumptions here, but in case, let's leave all that crane operating and sailing and navigating stuff to the side, just for 1 second, just in case that data visualization thingy is something you keep doing for a while, and let's assume you plan to be teaching on that, for example, in a pre-con or something. That would be, I think, the perfect opportunity to let people know in case they want to sign up for that, maybe in November or
Mm.
so.
Maybe in the future, I do have some plans. I do already have a YouTube channel that I like to share content on data visualization and also how to make it accessible to everyone.
Nice.
So I have a YouTube channel called Accessible BI, and a blog that I also share some content also for those who work with project management and project control. So I work with a lot of data in terms of project controls, and the blog is www.smart-frames.co.uk. So I already
You
do a
could
lot of work.
you can find it in the show notes.
So I do a lot of work. I really like it, and I'm also now talking about data and Power BI to primary school children. So
Oh,
it's quite
cool.
an interesting because they are very curious. Mainly, what is your favorite data visualization? They don't want to see boring bar charts. So I always say like maps, and they get really excited about the possibility of seeing different things in the map. Um, so I do like doing that. I do a lot of community work, um, and I do like doing that as well on the data side.
Awesome. Love
Well,
that.
given that you will be at the PASS Summit, I can tell there will be people like me, so it will actually help you being able to talk to primary school children.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to your question, Jess. Sorry.
Perfect. Perfect. That's all right. I was just going to ask our second question on the podcast, which is, what is your favorite non-data thing?
So I had many other favorite things throughout my life, like career,
We kind of assumed.
but
I didn't
like
see
I
that
think
coming.
most recently I can say that it's definitely reading. So when I was
Okay.
younger, I was not a good reader, right? I would read things and I would just don't understand. I read a paragraph and read again, and I will finish reading. I didn't have a clue what I read, and I went through the stage of reading in my second language, right? English is my second language, and then when I finally didn't have to translate word by word, it was like I wouldn't remember because I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
translating anymore in my head. So I remember reading a book, and not long after, I was like, "What is the book about?" So it was a really annoying stage that I went through of not being able to remember books that I read in my second language. But now I can read, I can understand, and I can remember. So, and it's a really nice way to, for example, I knew nothing about human behavior, and it's so important when you work with clients. I've been a consultant, so I work with people, and I thought I need to understand these people because some people, oh my goodness, they cannot understand themselves. How am I going to supposed to understand them? So I really like reading about different things because it give me insights in different areas that are not related to my job necessarily or not related with data, but somehow I managed to make a connection. And as I don't like traveling anymore, it's also a way for me to kind of learn about new places and new things. So I can't do everything just in bed, get a book, and it's like I'm there. So reading has been a really nice companion for me.
I love that. Cool. Nice. Well, I have problems remembering books I read in my first language, so I think that's it's always impressive to me that folks can read in their second language. So
It's a
you're doing good.
process. It is difficult, but you just have to not give up.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
I guess we're already at our last question. And given that you've been, well, first of all, you've lived at a lot of different places. We can tell that by now. You've traveled the world by sailing the world. That may make the next question super easy or super hard.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite food?
It's very difficult. It's very difficult. I think I initially thought, well, because I don't live where I'm from anymore, right? Whenever my husband cooks food for my place, so my husband's British, but he learned how to cook Bahamian food. That's the place where I'm from in Brazil, and it feels like I'm back there, and it's really comforting. Um, but it's not the kind of thing that I want to eat all the time, right? If there is something that for me is very soothing, if I'm stressed or I'm really excited, I'm happy, I realize it's always chocolate. Right? And it doesn't matter if I have a cake, if I have anything, a dessert, it's not like chocolate. I still need to finish the dessert and I need a piece of chocolate. So it's very childish. But I think chocolate is the thing that is like, you know, regardless of how I feel like a chocolate will go well now. And I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't say the same about the food back from my place. It's a nostalgia thing. But it's a hot day. Oh, I wish I had a moqueca now. It's not going to happen. So yes, very childish and basics. Chocolate is definitely something that I can eat anytime, and I struggle because you know I have to watch my sugar levels, and so I was like, I'm just going to eat dark chocolate. But it's not the
Smart.
same.
Health food.
It's not the same. So I try to control myself. But at some point, I was eating a whole bar of chocolate a day.
Of
cannot
just like
relate at
Cadbury's
all.
or a specific kind.
I like Lind. They have like
Oh,
sea
yeah.
salted, so it's a dark chocolate. It's like 69, 65% with sea salt. That is my favorite. That is definitely my favorite. And then, but if you get Cadbury, all those sugary ones, there is a Cadbury one that's got like popping candy inside.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it, and I absolutely love it. And there is I think it's called Raffaello. It's like a coconut.
Mm-hmm.
That one as well. I really like it, but it's very naughty.
I love that. Oh, you can't go wrong with chocolate. I'm with you.
No.
Yes. I was going to say,
And
I'm
there
going
was
to show you a
also
place in Seattle. I think I've mentioned it on the show before. It's called France Chocolate. And what they do is they do chocolate infused fig. So we'll take a fresh fig and infuse it with like a chocolate ganache. And then we'll dip the fig in chocolate. So
And you
it's
didn't
very
take me there
decadent.
last year?
I apparently did not.
Gosh.
This
there
is
is
only
a
for my new friends, Jazz.
there is
Oh,
a
I
chocolate
see
that I
that.
also really like is Norwegian, and
Mm.
it was the first chocolate, but it was milk chocolate that I had with sea salt, and it was amazing. Don't have a clue what's the name. I tried to buy on Amazon before, and I can never find the right one.
Hmm.
So if
So
I go to Norway again, I'm going to the supermarket and I'm going to buy a
Yeah,
stock of Norwegian
find it.
chocolate.
do me. Okay. Norwegian chocolate. So do me a favor and take a very close look at the packaging, because I'm now an expert in Norwegian chocolate and
It's
basically
yellow.
most of. Okay, that's the one.
It
It's
starts with F.
actually It's made in Lithuania, not in Norway. And
I've only seen selling Norway. And it's funny
and
because the Norwegians would say this is Norwegian chocolate.
I know. So at Fabric February,
Interesting.
we did a session called Chopped, like the TV show where people get like a mystery set of ingredients and cook something from it, and they got a mystery data set, and it was on sweets and snacks and what people prefer because the entire thing at Fabric February is snacks, and it was in Norway. So obviously, all the Norwegians were like so proud of their Norwegian chocolate. And I've actually received that as a gift from many of my Norwegian friends many times before. And so one of them, Sai, gave me one just before in Vienna at a conference, and to take a closer look. And I look again, it's actually made in Lithuania. So I had a huge zoomed in screenshot of that in my presentation. And I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to say
Some
now that I
people.
love Lithuanian chocolate.
There you go.
There's that.
Broadened your
Vitalia, did you hear
horizons.
that? There we go.
Oh no.
I mean, she's from Lithuania, so it's all fine. We just basically we're disappointing a couple of Norwegian friends, and we are pleasing a couple of Lithuanian friends. So I mean,
Perfect.
come on.
Balance.
Exactly. And just like that, speaking of non-Norwegian but covered as Norwegian chocolate, I was hoping you would say it's the. I also don't remember the name, but I was hoping it's going to say it's the yellow one, like heart-shaped and everything usually. So the non-Norwegian chocolate. Anyways, it was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much joining us on the show. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And we see you all next week with yet another friend. Bye.
Bye, folks.
Bye.